All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We've got to ask the million-dollar question. Is AI code generation an absolute magic bullet? Or, is it just a fast track to unmaintainable technical debt? I mean, we've all seen the hype online, right? Someone types a single sentence and boom, a full application just magically appears on screen. But what actually happens when you try to use that generated code in the real world?
Welcome to today's explainer. We are going to completely unpack this rapidly evolving landscape of AI coding tools. What do they actually mean for your daily workflow? Well, we're going to separate the marketing myths from the engineering reality. To do that, we'll be looking at some recent benchmarks, some honestly pretty fierce developer debates, and a few cutting-edge open-source solutions.
Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The generative UI boom. 2. Testing AI app builders. 3. The tech debt debate. 4. The constrained UI solution. And finally, 5. The future of development. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The generative UI boom. Hype versus reality.
So, to really test the hype here, the team over at We Are Developers ran a totally fascinating experiment. They took a single, deliberately ambiguous, real-world prompt and fed it to 5 different AI app builders. Now, you might be wondering, why make it ambiguous? Well, as any developer knows, real-world requirements are rarely perfect, right? So they intentionally asked for a quote-unquote modern feel, and they purposely left out basic, logical details, like, say, a delete button for new items. They basically wanted to see if these AI platforms could interpret those gray areas exactly the way a human engineer naturally would.
Moving on to Section 2. Testing AI app builders, real-world benchmarks. Okay, look at how wildly different these benchmark results were across the platforms. The tools were graded out of a total of 15 points, spread across 3 categories: setup and UI, customizing code, and code-based access. Just notice that massive gap. Down at the bottom, you've got Bubble and Base44 scoring a pretty dismal 4 and 4.5. But then you jump to the top, and Bull and Vercel V0 are rocking at 12.5 and 13. I mean, that isn't just a slight difference in quality. We're talking about a fundamental difference in how these tools actually operate under the hood.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the huge divide we're seeing in the market right now. On one side, these restrictive platforms basically act like walled gardens. Bubble, for instance, hides almost everything behind its visual engine. You can't inspect dependencies, and you definitely can't just easily export code to your own IDE. But on the flip side, you've got developer-centric tools like Bolt and Vercel V0 offering this near IDE experience. They're handing you full file trees, terminal access, and they run on modern stacks like React and Vite. They aren't trying to replace your development environment, they actually integrate right into it. Taking the absolute top spot with 13 out of 15 points was Vercel V0. And it won because it didn't just, dump code on a screen and call it a day. It acted like a thoughtful collaborator. It was literally the only tool to generate code in React 19, and it gave developers seamless transitions between previewing the design and actually getting into the weeds of editing the underlying code. It essentially proved that AI is way more useful when it actually speaks the language of a modern developer. Which brings us to Section 3. The tech debt debate. Can AI clean its own mess?
Now this kicks off an absolutely massive debate that is raging in the engineering community right now. Over on Hacker News, the pessimism is fierce. Take a user named HyperN, for example. They argue that AIs fundamentally just don't produce well-organized code. Because they lack a human's sort of architectural taste, they tend to duplicate effort instead of creating reusable abstractions. The big fear here is that AI is just going to balloon a company's surface area with massive, completely unmaintainable AI slop that human engineers are eventually going to get stuck cleaning up.
Conversely, though, we do have the optimists. Another user, GBNW, argues that having AI clear its own tech debt is actually, trivial. Their whole workflow involves intentionally accruing tech debt during the day while building super fast, but then they set up automated AI agents to run nightly refactoring passes while they sleep. Their argument is pretty straightforward. Hey, if an AI can write the code in the first place, why can't you just prompt it again to analyze and optimize its own mess? But listen, the real-world risks of ignoring this debate are pretty stark. We aren't just talking about a few messy files here. In that same Hacker News thread, engineers were sharing horror stories of AI generating wildly rogue code. We're talking things like using document.write in a modern React application, completely failing corporate security and basic accessibility lint checks. And we're already seeing cautionary tales out in the wild. For example, the fintech company Klarna reportedly faced some severe security and fraud vulnerabilities after heavily replacing human staff with AI. The ultimate danger here? You end up creating a code base that is entirely unmaintainable by a normal team, understood only by the single vibe coder who originally prompted it.
Yikes.
All right, Section 4, the constrained UI solution, a safe middle ground.
Enter a really cool concept called constrained UI. Honestly, it's a massive paradigm shift. Think about it. Instead of giving an AI a completely blank canvas and just letting it hallucinate raw code from scratch, constrained UI forces the AI to generate interfaces strictly using a predefined set of your existing developer-approved React components. It's essentially only allowed to assemble your safe, pre-tested building blocks.
Let's actually look at a concrete example of this in action. It's an open-source solution called Puck. Now, Puck is an MIT-licensed visual React editor that has been gaining a ton of traction. It's got over 3,700 stars on GitHub right now. It features an AI page builder, but here is the absolute magic of it. It strictly utilizes your own custom components. Because it relies entirely on your specific design system, the output is inherently business-aware, it's visually consistent, and it's instantly scalable. Plus, because it's open source and integrates directly into your existing app, it completely eliminates that vendor lock-in we were seeing with those earlier tools. This really spells out the choice that developers have today. On one side, you have AI slop. These are unconstrained generative interfaces that look absolutely amazing in a demo, but they totally fail in production because the code is bloated, complex, and sometimes downright insecure. On the other side, you have constrained UI. These are reliable, scalable interfaces built safely from your own design systems. Funny enough, the constraint itself is actually what sets you free to use AI in a production environment safely. And that brings us to our final section, Section 5, the future of development, guardrails, and teamwork. So, what's the overarching takeaway from all these benchmarks, those fiery Hacker News debates, and innovative tools like Puck? Well, it's actually incredibly clear. AI tools are at their absolute best when they are built for developers, operating within very safe, predefined boundaries. Let's be real, AI is not a replacement for human engineering taste or architectural planning. What it is an incredibly powerful, high-speed collaborator. And like any powerful tool, it desperately requires structured guardrails to actually succeed in the real world.
I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder about your own tech stack and really your own daily workflows. As you inevitably start adopting these incredibly powerful new tools, how are you going to manage the fallout? Are you going to build the automated systems to have the AI clear its own tech debt? Or are you going to be the human left behind cleaning up the slop? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and as always, keep building smart.